The date is June 26, 2022. So what I'm going to do is do June 26, 2032. Now let's go into the games. Let's see all. Let's go into Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. And hopefully this works. Right, I've got to choose my new title now. So these are all new, yeah. So that's cool. I wonder if it'll come up with a new one every single time. A new Stanley Parable 4. What should we go with? Dr. Sunshine. Can you put more? Oh, you can change it. Dr. Choice. Or what, you know what's even better is The Choice. The Choice, yeah. Stanley Parable 4, The Choice. So clever, man. And you can see that there's like a body, like a woman's body in like, oh, it's the mannequin. You can see the mannequin. Okay, let's begin the game. Hopefully I get that achievement for not playing. Essentially, I think it's called Super Go Outside. But
This is the story.
It's to not play the game for 10 years. But it still hasn't given it to me. Okay. Well, let's keep
All of his co-workers were good red mind control facility.
All right. So now what I should be able to do is I should be able to get up on this chair and jump down. There we go.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Nice, nice. Okay, so while that was serenading us all with that beautiful new tune, which was pretty funny, what I want to do now is, I've kind of done some reading on how to get that achievement. So now what I'm thinking is, so now what I gotta do. This is what I gotta do. I gotta quit out of the game. I gotta go back to my settings. I gotta go. Oh, I gotta go back in the settings. I gotta go to network settings. I gotta go back online. Let's restart the console again. Take a sip of peace tea. Oh, raspberry. Oh, that's good raspberry. Oh. Hopefully this works. If not, I got a few more ideas. Up my sleeve. I'll keep messing with the fucking date and time settings. Hey, I got it. It actually notified me on my phone before I saw it on the, because I got the Xbox connected to my mobile device as well, so I'll get it. All right, let's try Stanley Parable 5. Let's try Unforgivable Champion. I try to make them sound like badass or something. Like I try to say like, it's like, ooh, that sounds badass. Like when you see it. I love how it changes like the menu every time too. That's really clever. All right, begin the game, and we should get our achievement. We should get our. I already know I got it. This thing, I already know I got it. And I already know I got it.
This is the...
Hey, it's just gonna take a minute.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Was it 2840 was the code? Because there's another achievement I want to try to get for like the speed run of the game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
2840?
Yet there was not a single person here
Because I've done some
either.
reading about
Feeling
getting
a
this
wave
speed
of
run achievement.
disbelief,
I want to try
Stanley
to do that.
decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Good job, you did it. It was a glitch.
Stepping
But
into
that
his
was
manager's
amazing.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
20,
And so the
it's not
boss had assigned it an extra secret
2845.
PIN number. 2. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story
There we
as
go.
quickly
That's
as
what- this is
possible,
what I want to
he
trigger.
didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Guess we can look around the boss's office.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
But yeah, so from my understanding, if you're able to trigger that enough times, the narrator will just like be like, fine, and he'll stop talking, so you can get the speedrun achievement.
Descending deeper into the building,
Or, like, get
Stanley
better chance
realized
at
he
getting
felt a bit
speedrun.
peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest. as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But I think there's another like little hack that can help you, and it is like going along here, and then you can kind of like get onto the. I don't know.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, see, like that. Okay. Let's begin the game again. 2845. Don't want to forget the 2845. Hasn't shown up with my achievement yet either. It hasn't shown me that I got it yet. But it notified me on my phone, so I know I got it. Sequel is now following.
All of it.
Like, where are the achievements? Where is the achievements? Super go outside. Yeah, still wasn't populated. I got it, but I did. I know. Maybe I gotta restart the console.
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
2845. 2845.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Maybe I'll even get this speed run. Maybe I can do it this time. Be quick enough. Because he skipped the whole jargon. Because that is like that's one of his longest little rambles, is in the manager's office.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
That's gonna cost me. That's gonna cost me.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's
What's this
co-workers.
urgent thing?
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And
Yeah, if there's a
Stanley,
way that
one
you
of
could
them,
like get around
eternally
these. I think
monitored
there
in
is.
this
Like there is a
place
way that
where
you can.
freedom meant nothing.
You can get on the rails. So I'm just gonna try it again.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh, that's gonna cost me.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes, He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments
I wonder if
away.
they did this on
And yet,
purpose.
even as the immense
Like
door
of her,
slowly
like
opened,
the speedrunner
Stanley
people.
reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
on.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Oh, they totally
Whatever
did
life
this
he
on
lives,
purpose.
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, I don't think that was fast enough. No. Okay. So I've got a stopwatch on my phone here, just to give me an idea of the times.
All of his
I'm gonna go
co-workers
in.
were
I'm gonna
gone.
do the
What
manager's
could it
office
mean?
again.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
After he
a
does
memo.
like, yeah, we know this part, and then I'm just gonna see if what happens next. I don't know.
When Stan... Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay, I'm gonna try to begin again now, and I just want to see what happens. So he does.
Here's the door. Just go.
Sweet. Okay. All right. So as soon as it starts, I'm gonna start the start watch, and we will be rocking and rolling. Okay. Started.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. When Stanley came to...
It's just this last monologue so freaking long.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
We have one more minute.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power
20
that
seconds.
he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
No.
And
No.
that was all he needed
No,
to know.
we were over.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Let's go
Stanley
anyways
stepped
and see if
through
it
the
gets it,
open
but,
door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his...
Fuck. Okay, I gotta practice doing those rails things because that I was about like 8 seconds over.
All of his co-workers were
So
gone.
I gotta practice that a
What
little
could
bit.
it mean?
Okay, let's try that again because I wasn't ready. was drinking peace tea. Too busy drinking a little peace tea.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
True. Motivation.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. That's probably how people discovered that glitch, though, with the bottom of the mind
Stanley
control
walked straight
facility
ahead
was-
through the
was
large
just
door
trying
that
to
read
speedrun it.
Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Thing is, I don't know if I can do that with the
Now
other
the
ones,
monitors
though.
jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each
That
bore the
one, wow.
number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in
Feel good about
someone
this
else's
one.
control?
Feel good about this one.
Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Okay, I pushed as
Freedom
far as
was
I could
mere
forward.
moments
So hopefully
away.
as soon as this
And yet,
goes, I can.
Even as the
rock
immense
right in there.
door slowly opened,
Come on,
Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling of liberation. The immense possibility of the new
Yeah,
path
baby.
before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay. Nice. So there's only one last achievement that we need to get, and that's one. It's called dedication. Now, the achievement is for playing the game the entirety of Tuesday. Commitment. Sorry, it's called commitment. Of a Tuesday, any random Tuesday. So let me just see if maybe there's a workaround. So just reading up about that achievement, it has to be. It looks like what a lot of people saying is that it has to be idled legitimately. Which is just so Stanley Parable, man. But all good. I don't know. That's obviously what I'm gonna do in my own time. What I'll do is I'll probably just set a
All of his
reminder for
co-workers were
myself.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'll set a reminder for myself.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sorry, let's begin again. There's something else I wanted to try here, so real quick.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I just want to see what happens if you don't bring the bucket in here, because I brought the bucket in the first time. So I want to just hear this guy. I want to hear what he has to say. Whoa!
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
I wonder what happens if we go back to that room. There's another thing I want to try out now, too. I want to try to bring the bucket to the bottom of... The phone's ringing. Hello? Hello? Which phone?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
That's cool.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
But yeah, there's a lot of new content you can see with the bucket, you know? So I'm just going to bring him around, bring the bucket around. Him. I'm starting to fall for the bucket spell now. But yeah, I'm going to just
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Thank you.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was
Don't
a
talk
mistake
before
to
I've
leave
had
the
my
path.
sequel.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Wonder if we
Stanley
went down
decided to
there again,
go to
if
the
anything
meeting
would
room.
change.
Perhaps Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Is it not 434 that you can get up and out the window? Hold on.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid!
He's getting all freaking Smeagol.
Hey, bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed
Good
and
acting.
screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
Stanley killed the bucket.
My
He's
God,
going crazy.
Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
That's a good one. I like that one. Like he gets all like Smeagol and Gollum on it, and he's like talking to himself, and he goes
All of
crazy.
his
That's
co-workers
a really
were
sick
gone.
one, actually.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Couple whoa, what the junk? This is new. So everything's backwards or some shit. This is new. Oh, did I miss anything? So I wonder if this is like a random thing and I've missed something. Let me just double take for a second. It's new content. So I don't need to worry about that. Let's see what happens here.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah,
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
wait a sec. Does that do anything? No. What's that mug say? Number one dad? I can't see the other thing. It's D and a D. I think it's number 1 dad. He was number 1. Oh. All right.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. I
just want to see if anything else happens if you,
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth.
Okay, it's the same. It's the same. What was up with that other room we got into? Like, you know, like how it was all different that one time. I hope I didn't miss anything. Probably did. I probably did. Is that the phone ringing again?
There's the door. Just go.
This time the door was already open. But anyways, yeah, I found just reading about a few more endings. So yeah, I got some ideas. I got a few ideas. I get these ideas, but yeah. Well, actually, I just kind of like I'm trying to do the kind of the completionist thing.
Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
So yeah, I just looking up a few more endings, looking at a few more things, just to see all the possible routes possible.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat. Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again?
Can't jump
or
out of
what
the
if it's the
elevator,
boss's
can you?
office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Wonder if you can jump out of the elevator and like get onto one of those platforms or something, if that would lead to something else. No.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
I've always wanted one of those things. I was like, never actually seen one in person. One of those little like duck things that drink water.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process. All right, I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
What? I just like
Of
riding the
course.
elevator, man.
Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Is he not gonna comment anymore?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press
All eyes
conference
on
should be just
Stanley.
around the corner here somewhere.
World's healthiest human being. All tricks revealed. How we did it. The pyramids. The guy who went to Mars. I wonder if those are actual stock images or if they recreated those. Because if either way, they've done a fantastic job. World peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Tonight, live on stage, the Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parables, Stanley. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable. Tonight, live on stage. Well, let's not keep my fans waiting.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from, your coworkers. An unforgiving account of ups and well downs. Because he rode the elevator down and down. Highs and lows. Isn't that what life's about? 5 stars. Star, what does that say? Star Magazine. 427. The storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. Up again and down again. The Stanley story. Break a leg. I love the way you ride elevators. Story. Stanley, me, dad, age 6. Isn't that sweet? Those look like a bunch of eyeballs. It's really creepy, actually. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great. The Lord. Meet and greet. Featuring keynote speaker. The Lord. Meet and greet. Alright, let's not keep my people waiting. Oh my god. There's actually a press conference or a concert. I didn't think he was actually going to do it. He did it. What a cool ending. What a neat ending. Okay, cool. Actually, you know what? There's one last
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Okay, you know what? I'm bringing the bucket. I'm bringing this bucket. There's one other thing I want to try then. I wonder if you brought the reassurance bucket to the reassurance bucket room, what would happen? There's a lot to see, man. Still
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Is this the dark room? It's not super dark. Is there another dark room we should talk about? Ah, this is the dark room he's talking about.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Wonder if I disobey the bucket, because I heard you can also unplug this.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions
That's
is...
the narrator doing it,
yes.
the same voice.
Let's
It's just
dive
his
deeper.
American accent, I think.
If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. That's fun. That is fun. That's fun.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
So is it from the future or from the past?
This video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Oh, so it looks like we got a little Grim Fandango. This has opened up a whole other can of worms. Well, let's see. Heading back.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I wonder if it'll matter. Go back to the right.
What? We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
This makes such a good point about comedy, and like you can't teach comedy. And every comedy is very subjective. Very subjective, Murray, as the Joker would say. All right, but I think I am going to leave it there for this time. I think there's lots more secrets to see. We can take the bucket on some endings that we didn't do originally. We can do some endings without the bucket that we didn't do originally. I'm sure there's more secrets. There's that last achievement that I'm going to work on getting my own. It never popped up and showed that I got the fucking super go outside one, but I know I got it because I see it on my phone. It's really weird. So I'll have to keep looking into that. But anyways, thank you for watching this one. We'll be back with more Stanley Parable very soon. Like and subscribe, and peace the fuck out.